Christian, we've talked a lot about Joe Biden tonight, so I'm going to ask you the question, how do you think Trump did?
Well, I think he did pretty well, but I don't just say that as a partisan Republican who worked in his administration. If you contrast this to 2020, when in that first presidential debate, I think President Trump came across as angry and mad, and they both interrupted each other, and it was just terrible TV. I think he really kept his cool. Of course, there were times where you saw Trump's impatience with Joe Biden, but by and large, he held his fire. He let Biden make his points, or at least attempt to make his points. And he was really, I think, quite skillful. I think the CNN commentators, journalists, whatever you want to call them, tried to lay several traps on issues like abortion. And actually, it wasn't just once, but twice that Biden failed to leverage what's supposed to be the Democrat ace up the sleeve, the abortion issue. Trump actually turned that around to embarrass the Democrats for endorsing late-term abortion, and he looked magnanimous. He looked unifying. So there are some little points. I mean, Trump has never been a policy wonk. As a policy wonk, there are times where I'd sort of hoped he had finished the point, but I thought he came across as remarkably calm and composed, and in contrast, that Biden sort of alternated between befuddled and lost and angry.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about him not being a policy wonk, and I think that was one of the things that frustrated me about the debate, and as much for Biden as Trump as well, is that there wasn't a lot of policy. The debate was largely, Trump attacking Biden and Biden attacking Trump, and Trump saying how good his presidency was and Biden saying how bad Trump's presidency was. And when Trump was asked for specifics, for instance, he was asked about opioids and drug addiction and fentanyl, he couldn't give a straight answer. Have a look.
What will you do to help Americans right now in the throes of addiction who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
To finish up, we now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy. We have the largest deficit with China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate.
President Trump, and again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now struggling to get the treatment they need.
We always pay $6 billion for every time we say a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter.
It's so unlike when we have prime ministerial debates here in Australia, which focus heavily on policy. What you got tonight was just a battle of the personalities, essentially.
Right. A parliamentary system wouldn't work in America. We'd be a dictatorship in about 10 minutes. But the nice thing about a parliamentary system is you have to stand up and stand 10 feet away from your opposition and make a point. Part of it was the format, which didn't really allow for rebuttals, and Trump used the next question to rebut points Biden made before. The solution was actually right at Trump's hands. He's going to get tough, close the border to illegal immigrants. I think he would be generous with diverting people out of prison and into treatment. He's done that. Certainly, he reduced the sentences of a lot of people who had lengthy prison sentences for nonviolent drug offenses. So it was there, but just Trump he's not a policy guy. He's not a wonk. He's an executive. And that's just the way it's going to be. I guess Biden has sort of evolved into that category as his cognitive skills have declined. So also, this is just a long, sad transition from presidential debates that were informative and must-see TV and interesting into painful television. And I don't know how you get away from that.